It's something to the effect of... Shit, losing train of thought here. It's something to the effect that it's... People were talking about it's going to get delayed. Something like that. It's coming out late this month, I think. They were talking about Kate Bishop, and then...
Alright.
They were saying they think
almost
it's
there.
But to tell you the truth, I don't really care.
Got it.
It's not fun. Let's just be honest, it's not really a fun game. It is...
Die! You're done for, bitch!
It is incredibly fucking boring, and there's a lot of people, I guess not really a lot, that actually but I think that was I don't know, maybe it is fun. Fucking limitation, man. It's on the same concept that just make, and then you can't really do the things that it does. You know, if you do that, the same difference is if you're playing with the Incredible Hulk. Hulk can't shoot miles in the air, tear a building down, or run up the street on Mars. And you know he can do that. You've seen him for years and years and years in comics and, you know, animated series and shit. Like, you know what he can do. So when you say, hey, you can play with the Incredible Hulk, and Hulk can't do what he normally does, well, shit. Not to mention the average stuff.
Nice.
The basic shit. Like, you got a group of dudes in tactical gear with machine guns that are going to take down the Incredible Hulk. How many times has that been tried? And
almost there.
Laughed it off. Completely destroyed the entire team.
That'll do it.
Like, it's you can't even take it seriously. Because, like, you see it and you're like, you wouldn't even know the recipe of Tinder. Like, these guys are in trouble by himself. If anything, he probably has the time to range in the fucking game. You know? Let alone have fucking Thor run up and start tearing shit to pieces. Like, that's crazy. I mean, because then at that point, if you're in aim, you might as well put your guns down and run. Because what are you going to do? You're going to fight Hulk and Thor? Like,
shit!
No.
Now, tell me what I want to know.
Hell no.
Or else.
That's just that's a waste. I can't even see the fucking question. What does this nigga say?
Where's the girl?
She's up in the reception room.
Got it. Appreciate the honesty.
Talking about Hulk? Yeah, he's 1,200 pounds. He's supposed to be.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, he's well beyond anything that AIM has. In truth, the only possible threat to Hulk that AIM has is MODOK himself. That's really it. If MODOK came out there and hit him with some of his fucking psionic blast,
almost
he could
there.
probably do some damage to him. But
nice.
I mean, even that's dependent on how long Hulk has been. You know, how long Banner has been in Hulk form. Because then that nigga's he's gonna get to the point where even MODOK's not able to handle him or even really damage him, and then MODOK's gonna get his fucking face crushed off. So it just like the game just doesn't look believable. You're like, you start the game and you're already out of the immersion. You don't really get immersed. Not to mention the sheer level of cringe in some of the portions of the game that I myself will probably never be going back and playing again. That was it. The little part, I know it was meant to be like cute when they had Kamala like recite Captain America's speech. I think that's what it was meant to be, but it was cringy as shit. Like the way they had it. Very awkward pauses. Very, very strange. It just felt off. And I don't know. I feel like maybe it's only Cap, man. Maybe Cap can only get away with that kind of crazy shit. I didn't feel that way in the comics. when you say that shit to Spider-Man, I didn't feel that way. I was like, man, Cap's right. yeah, I was with it. I was like, hey, you know, Cap's right about that shit.
Die! You're done for, bitch!
You had to literally y'all can be oh, this is terrible.
What's the code for the reception room?
Oh, I was playing
Like I
fucking
tell you.
RoboCop yesterday, and I was streaming, and my shit crashed right in
I don't
the
have
middle.
time for your games. Understand?
Yeah, I was pissed.
Now I'm gonna ask you
I was
again.
doing a.
What's the code
I was gonna go ahead
to
and
the
stream for like an
reception
hour
room?
playing RoboCop.
1370.
Well,
My
that
game
wasn't
just
so hard.
crashed out of the blue
Thanks.
for no reason. It's on YouTube. I mean, it's floating somewhere out there. I'm just playing, and all of a sudden, it's gone. I haven't tried to look it up. It's probably gonna pop up on my channel at some point. But for now, I'm playing Judgment. That's what I'm doing. What is this? Okay, so wait, he told me the code.
You're Seiya's sister, right? Don't worry. You're safe now.
Yagami! When the hell did you get here?
Let the girl go. Right now.
What do you mean, let her go? The girl can leave whenever she wants. We don't have her tied up or nothing.
I get it. It's all fine if you aren't keeping her captive, right? Just have to make her stay here until the trial's over. You really thought this one through. But that's not gonna work.
Huh?
Confinement is a crime whether or not your captive is tied up, idiots.
Shut your trap!
You know, false imprisonment will get you between 3 months and 7 years. Maybe even longer if you hurt the victim.
Guess you'll have to take a little dip in an acid bath then. No body, no crime.
Intimidation too? Tack on another year.
You piece of... Come on! Let's make sure this asshole never talks again!
Oh, not the TV. It's a nice TV. Yagami, man, you should have kept it.
Let go! He looks like a damn idiot.
everybody has to be a fucking genius. You can't really have like the old school henchmen guys that are ridiculously powerful.
Come on.
I mean, I feel like
Not
those
so
things
fast,
have kind of
Yagami.
gone the wayside,
Arase-san,
you know. And it's like,
hasn't this
people
gone
like
on
Shocker
long
did.
enough?
'Cause I remember when Shocker used to.
You're only gonna make things
used to
worse
really
for
fuck
yourself.
Spider-Man up. And nowadays,
Hamura has
they
an
don't
alibi.
really-
Someone else
they don't
clearly
really-
killed Kume.
You don't really see those.
There's no
kind of
reason
guys
for you to keep Seiya from
roaming around.
testifying.
They always have other
But if Hamura didn't murder
bigger-
Kume, who
bigger
did?
villains that show up.
I'm not sure, but Hamura might have an idea. He must have been working with the real murderer.
What?
Well, I remember he fucked up Spider-Man a number of times. He fucked him up and just rolled off. It wasn't like Spider-Man was just like, yo, let's box, and that nigga just caught him. He was like, he was getting away with shit. He was messing people up, robbing banks and shit. He'd get knocked out because he take a shot to the face or get grazed by it. Nigga wake up later and they be like, what happened? Like, yeah, man, he got away. He took all the money and shit.
The night of the crime, Kume went into Amor and just disappeared, right? He didn't contact you. Nobody saw him. He didn't even show up on any security footage. The way I see it, Kume never left Amor. In other words, Hamura must have handed him over to the real murderer. While Hamura was at the sauna making an alibi for himself, someone else was murdering Kume and gouging his eyes out.
It almost makes sense.
If Hamura ends up behind bars, I'll never be able to prove that theory.
So what? You want to let Hamura walk?
Better that than threaten a girl to stop someone from
Dude,
testifying.
Kume is killing me.
Besides, I thought you were above
Man's
shit
got a
like
throat.
this.
Like, this game
All right,
is
just
set
get out of
in
here.
2018.
You got guts for a detective.
But he looks like a 1960s or 1970s
Thanks.
count. Like, he's got this big ass collar and a gold chain on and shit. Loud ass suit. Shit looks ridiculous.
Hamura-san is the one punching me in this video. The same man standing here today. I remember now. There's no doubt in my mind.
So, you retract your earlier statement?
Yes. My apologies.
Your Honor, clearly this witness has no credibility.
How does the defense respond?
I admit, the witness was shaken up before. But I believe that's a perfectly understandable response. This is his first time in court, after all.
I must have stopped right after
I have
got
no
there.
doubts regarding his credibility.
I think I did play up to this point, but I don't remember seeing this.
This Stardust establishment. It's a host club, yes? How long have you been employed there?
About 2 years.
For that short a time frame, you seem to have an awful lot of trouble with your customers.
Huh? I'm not sure what you mean.
Several of them have approached you in hopes of marriage, have they not? They come spending huge sums of cash, so you act like you're ready to seal the deal. You say whatever it takes to make them happy in the moment, but your story changes once things start to get real.
What do they have to
5
do with
women
the
have
job
filed
role?
reports with the Consumer Affairs Bureau, and those are just the ones who have stepped forward. Can we really trust the words of such a manipulative man? With these character traits in mind, I sincerely doubt the credibility of the witness's testimony. And if the witness is indeed lying, the defendant's alibi is invalid. That is all.
How does the defense respond?
I'd like to continue on the topic of credibility. Mind if I ask you a few questions, prosecutor?
Go ahead.
First, allow me to fast forward the security footage to just a few days after the crime. Oddly enough, we'll be looking at the exact day the prosecution filed their suit. Isn't that you, prosecutor?
Yes.
And in this footage, you're reenacting the altercation that took place between the defendant and our witness, yes?
What? No.
Well, that's strange. You stated earlier that you hadn't seen any footage from the camera near the sauna. But then, how would you be able to reenact things exactly as they went down? You also claimed you did not inspect the area yourself. It seems that wasn't the truth. Why are you hiding the truth from us, prosecutor?
Oh, shit.
You're wrong.
Got you.
As you can see, the original footage isn't exactly clear. I would understand if you had denied that the defendant was the man who punched our witness. But instead, you claimed you hadn't seen the footage at all. If I had to guess, when you first saw the footage, you realized Hamura might have been the other man. At the very least, you couldn't rule out the possibility. So you lied, I would say.
That's not true.
Can we be sure that what you say is credible? You've already lied outright in a court of law. And unfortunately for you, there's only one person who thinks the defendant is guilty. And that's you, prosecutor.
Damn, you got busted, son.
The night
Oh, he got
Kume
beat
got
twice.
murdered, Hamura was holed up in Sauna
Yikes.
Go 10 till morning.
Man, he about to kill somebody.
The footage from the security camera,
Pissed.
Hamura's
The
alibi,
second time this dude lost.
Seiya's testimony, it all lined up. With a story that airtight, there's no
I was
chance he
gonna
could have
actually
killed Kume.
go back and take a look at.
We find the defendant,
Oh my god, I always forget the name. of that
Kyohei
game.
Hamura,
What's it called?
innocent.
You know, the Mailman game.
I will now clarify the reasoning behind this decision.
that's right.
Defendant, please be seated.
The judge was right.
It's the Mailman game. You know, you just go. and you
Hamura
deliver
definitely
shit,
didn't
so.
kill Kume,
I was gonna go take a look at it because I haven't.
but
I haven't
he
checked
had
it
to
out
have been
with
involved.
this TV yet, so I wanted to take a look at
Meanwhile, the real killer is still out there, hiding in the shadows of Kamurocho. Murdering Yakuza, gouging their eyes out, retreating into his den.
it. I can't fuck with that.
So,
Shit.
I've given him a name.
I went. See, there's
The
a
Mole.
reason why I will never go back and play that game again. I went through and I got
A
the
lawyer's job is done once he
Stealth
proves the
device.
defendant innocent.
allows you to fuck yourself.
But me?
And after doing that, I had
not a
no
lawyer.
desire to play Guns of the
Not
Patriots
anymore.
ever again. I was like, I'm good. Some people say that
Meaning
that
my
shit is
search
easy,
for the
but
truth
when I played
only
it,
ends when I say
I don't
it
know.
does.
Maybe it's just my capabilities, but that was not fun.
My office might be small,
So
but that doesn't mean I don't have a reputation to
there's like a
uphold.
bunch of shit you gotta go through. I can't even remember how
In
you
other words,
how you get that done, but I remember there was
I'll do whatever
stuff
it
that
takes
you can't, I think you can't
to
be
bring
spotted or
Hamura
something.
and the Mole
There's like
down.
a limited amount of time you get spotted or something. Yep. You actually got that game? I didn't think they sold that shit anymore because they have like copyrighted stuff in there. There's like licensed
Yagami-san.
material that I don't think they have.
Nice
the
seeing
license
you.
for anymore.
Gorgeous day. How's the detective business been treating you lately?
Yeah, I knew you'd show up here, Hattori. Listen, I'm not in the mood for your shit today.
But it's my journalistic duty to hear what you have to say. It's not personal, just trying to do my job, okay?
Oh yeah, good times. Fucking raging and shit, slamming stuff. I think
I've
the
already
games that
seen
made
what
me
your
most
so-called
rage
job produces.
during the GameCube years
Fraudulent lawyer lets a murderer walk.
had to
Helpless
be
girl suffers the consequences.
one of them for sure is Legends of Wrestling.
You
That
and I
glitchy,
both
buggy
know.
piece of mess.
You're the only reason the girl died.
That game made me
You just had to go
rage
and
to
set
the end
that
of
killer
time,
free,
man.
didn't you?
Dealing with
And the good people who raised
I
her
think I
still
had
suffer for
one
it.
of the weirdest matches.
You
I
can't
can
be
think of.
coming
No, I
back
think it was,
now.
It was,
What
it was
would her
Legends of
poor
Wrestling
family
2.
have to say to that, huh?
Not the first one, it was the
Yagami-san.
second one. And I had for
No need to
some weird
worry about
reason,
that.
a ladder match
If you
with
say
Andre
so.
the Giant. And Andre was fucking
See you
unstoppable.
around then.
Like, he was unstoppable. I mean, I was just wailing on him with all kinds of shit. And it didn't matter how much I damaged him. He would just get back up, overpower the shit out of me, and just take the belt. See. Literally didn't matter what I did to him. Good times.
The year is 2018. Kamurocho is playing host to Kansai-based Yakuza, who've been turning up dead with their eyes gouged out.
What game?
Lawyer-turned-detective Takayuki Yagami took on the case, proving the suspect's alibi.
I don't know about Donkey Kong, but I think
But he
they
can't
got
shake the feeling
yeah,
that the true
the
culprit
Mario
is
game,
out
that's
there.
on Switch now, isn't it?
He gives this anonymous killer a name.
Yeah, man, they've been bullshitting on that, though.
Yagami
They got it
calls
for a
him
limited amount of time.
the Mole.
It's for only so many months, though. I want to say it's like was it midsummer or beginning of summer?
3 bodies have turned up in
Next year,
Kamurocho.
They're gonna take it down.
Each of them missing both eyes. Everyone a Kyorei man. Kume's the most recent.
And the guy who killed them all was your mole, huh?
Yep. Got Kume hand-delivered to him by Hamura. But Hamura kept that hidden, and ended up getting off scot-free. In turn, making us look like fools. I'm not about to let him get away with this.
Agreed. We gotta go all out if we want to win. Too bad the pay sucks.
Don't hate, man.
I don't get it. Why would the captain want to protect the mole anyways? He could have gotten life in the slammer if things went south.
Can't
Hard
wait
to
till
say
Cyberpunk
with what we
comes
know
out.
now.
I just want
First things
Cyberpunk.
first, we need to figure out who the mole is. That's why we're here, remember? The mole's first victim was found right in this very alley.
Mm-hmm. Happened back in August.
Talk about FF7.
Kenkichi Mashiba. A Kyorei guy, 27.
I
Pretty
feel
small
like
time.
it was more intense.
Even lower rank than Kume. Body got reported in the morning.
Personally,
Eyes
because
gouged
the
clean out of his skull.
attack time bar moves faster, so it was a bit more chaotic to me in that game.
Where exactly did they find him? What sort of position was he
You're
in?
talking about original
Not
turn
sure.
based, though.
Cops
That's
don't
without
really
the
publish
attack
these
time
kinds of
gauge.
details.
Yeah.
Well, guess we'll have to do one better then.
Hold up a sec. The cops already did their whole song and dance searching for the mole. But they couldn't turn up a damn thing. Why do you think we can do any better?
Don't worry, we got this.
Oh, it's that easy, huh?
If anyone's gonna know about the mole, it's Hamura. And who has better access to him than anyone else? We do. Right?
Guess you got a point.
We'll need to get our hands on some more info first, though. The quickest way to find the truth is through good old-fashioned legwork.
Basically, fucking playing.
I can do
chapter 2 and shit.
old-fashioned. Anyways, the next victim was in, October.
Most of the first
Found in an alley
chapters
off
are a lot of
Tenkaichi
talking,
Street.
though.
Shall we head over?
In this game, there's
I'm actually gonna
so
head over
much
alone if you don't mind.
talking.
Think you can
It's
get in
like
touch with that
people's
informant in the meantime?
exposition all over the place.
Huh? Why I obey?
Didn't you say something about him selling police info? If he's got info on the mole, we need it.
Yep, I can ask.
Thanks.
I feel like personally I like the original. The attack time bar wasn't bad to me, but it kind of differs. It varies from game to game. Where the hell am I supposed to be on? I feel like the original I think is the best. Just old school turn-based, which is straight up pure turn-based. But there was people that didn't like that. There were people that hated it because it was like you can't just move and do whatever you want. But then it's like that was just kind of the style at the time. But now it's different. Now they don't even really exist anymore outside of little tiny cutesy JRPGs where everything looks like a fuzzy animal, or it's just real time. Have everything in real time. I don't mind real time because I can play that shit too. It's just like kind of miss turn-based. Turn-based? Or the attack time gauge? I think it was just straight up turn-based. The only thing I remember being different on Xenosaga was that they had the boosting system. So they had the other joint where it was like, you thought you had a turn. Yeah. It was. I think what pissed me off the most is that they would do it at like the worst possible times. You'd be thinking, yeah, man, if I could just get this turn, I can heal and I can do this, and this. And like, yeah, no, you can't. No, that's actually my turn. That was the source of a lot of people's frustrations back then, in terms of JRPGs.
Suspicious.
Well, I mean, that's something that came out. That's a byproduct of them experimenting, trying to figure out how they can fuse action-based with RPGs. Because they did have that complaint was like, why can't I just go over there and hit the guy in the face? But what people that were saying that didn't realize is that, well, what you're talking about is an action game. That's what you're talking about. You mean you want an action game? But then you would see those very same people that were saying that also turn around and be like, well, shit, now I'm getting my ass kicked. Man, this game's too hard. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. You wanted an action game, now it's an action game. So... The remake was good. The problem with 7 Remake is that it's too damn short. Like, they cut out the rest of the game. They gave you like the first fucking piece of the game, and then the rest of it is just MIA. You're like, the hell is this? I mean, for what it is though, it is fun. It's cool. Yeah, they cut a lot of it out. There's a lot of stuff that was cut out. It's just like a little tiny glimpse of what you would get. But RPG games back then were, man, they were huge. They were gigantic. You were playing those for quite some time. You know, with all the leveling and buying gear and all the dialogue and stuff. There was a lot of thought and a lot of stuff put into those games. And now it's much more about keeping the person's attention, because I think that there are a lot more people that are gamers these days. So it's kind of like Hollywood. If you notice that Hollywood has kind of changed up, they don't really go for necessarily like really solid storytelling with, like, you know, characters with like really deep backstories and shit. They just go for stuff that, a lot of explosions, a lot of in your face, a lot of, you know, CGI and shit. They have a lot of that takes place nowadays. It's the same thing in the game world. If you're talking about video games, you want a lot of explosions and shit. You don't want something to be, you know, not over the top.
Hey, what's up?
Talk about the vision.
What?
Stole my phone.
Get back here! Hold it! Stop! Wait, wrong guy.
It ain't me, fool.
Okay, let's go. Hold up!
I know you ain't talking about a vision.
You won't get up.
You don't really defend Avengers, you just kind of play it, and then when somebody says, hey man, you're kind of a dumbass for playing it, but yeah,
Almost, man.
you just kind of go with it, you know? I'm just saying, because like, it's that really, y'all gonna be gonna bump into this dude. I'm screwed. He's getting away.
You won't get away.
Fast. I wonder how long you can actually like run. Chasing this dude.
Over here. Hold up.
Really? This is what we're doing? Now we're doing stuff, huh? Man, he is cooking me. He is absolutely cooking me right now. Yo, how do you get up there?
You won't get away.
Y'all gonna be getting cooked in that thing.
You're not getting any thanks for that.
Here, you earned this back.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking
I
about.
own it.
Look, it wasn't a perfect plan, but it worked out in the end, didn't it? So thanks.
Yeah.
Is that what you
I
call
ran
that?
past that shit. I messed with it at
And
first.
I don't
and was
want
like,
your
nope,
thanks,
boy.
asshole.
I just left it alone.
Okay. See ya.
Yeah, you don't have to, I don't think you have to do that. You have to come back. That's why I just left that one behind.
And that's the Kamurocho burglary ring. No wonder the cops can't catch him.
I can help. Oh, that's nice.
Nah.
That's old school, you know, RPG right there. It's very simplistic. You know, you just kind of buy the next stuff in the next town, you know, and put that on your character and you're good to go. In 8? 8's not set up like that, no. 8 pissed a lot of people off because it's not set up like that. So, in 8, you actually have to get materials to build your upgraded weapons. The bonus is that you don't really have like a ton of upgraded weapons. To tell you the truth, you don't have like a lot of weapons in there. There's just a couple of weapons to each character. All the power isn't in the weapons; it's in the freaking summons. So that's kind of how it works in there. I mean, you still need the weapons though, because the weapons essentially, I believe, the weapons give you your new limit breaks. So if you want that, the super badass limit break, the one where like Squall like splits the clouds and shit and like cuts a continent in half, then you have to get his other swords. There is a trick to getting Yuffie. You can get Yuffie right now, actually. Yeah, you can get Yuffie right from the jump. As soon as you leave Midgar, you can actually go get her. She shows up as I want to say a random encounter in the forest. As long as you're jogging around a forest, you'll run into her at some point in time. She'll just show up. But it's your response to her, the things that you say to her, to make her join the team. I want to say that you have to ignore the shit first. But I can't remember the exact things that you said to her. I think you're supposed to ignore her, though, while she's talking. She'll be talking and running about, blah, blah, blah. Doing all this kind of shit to try to get your attention. and your team starts talking amongst themselves, and you just stick to ignoring her. And I think till the very last part where she says, "Hey, I'm coming with you," and you're like, "All right." Yeah. That's how you get her. Because if you don't, then I think she just like steals
Excuse
some
me.
of your shit and runs away. Yep.
Hmm? This is Yagami.
Oh shit! I forgot what I was supposed to tell him. I totally forgot what I'm supposed to tell him. Oh, I'm in trouble. Oh, I should have been paying attention. Mogoshi?
Hmm?
No, he's more Mogoshi. Never mind. Shit, I don't know when Ribbon was originally put in the game. I think it is old though. Pretty sure it's old. Been around in Final Fantasy for a while. The availability depends on which Final Fantasy you're playing now.
What?
Yagami-san.
Oh, this guy's one
Excuse
of my,
me.
one of my friends. He's one of the people you can befriend in here. Alright. Another one the whole time. Nigga, when you get injured, because like in this game you can get like permanent injured. And the only way to fix it is if you have a med kit or if you go see a doctor. But up until now, I have not had the option to go and see a fucking doctor. There's no doctors in Camarocho. So now they do something.
Ah? Yagami-san.
Medical kit, sweet.
Yagami-san.
That's the business. Is that it? Damn, I guess that was it. Damn. Whew, I think I'm gonna call it. I think that's it. I feel like playing some Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play some Mortal Kombat. Sounds good to me.